This is the final table that I'm going to show you how I built that using AI. All the feature, it just works. I using a TanStack Table basically. Why I using TanStack Table? Because the comparison TanStack Table say this is the best. Then also, as you can see here, I using JSON placeholder, I believe, for fetching the data. Then yeah, this is also works. Everything that you see in here, the filter sort by column here also works. Let me show you. As you can see, the status active, inactive also working. The column here, I can select whatever the column that I want to see. It works, right? Everything just works. The TanStack table have the bundle size have like a 14 kilobyte, just 14 kilobyte. If you compare with AskGrip, it's 200 kilobyte, MUI 80 kilobyte, React Data Grip is 50 kilobyte. Then you can bring your own UI. As you can see, TanStack is better. Then you can put sorting, filtering, pagination, row grouping, then virtualization. Of course, you can add plugins, then column resizing, etc. Right, this MIT license, this is free. I already opened the empty folder here called Learn TanStack Table. Then basically this is my first prompt, create a React component using TanStack React tables. This is basically the package name. If you take a look in the installation, then as you can see, if you're using React, you can just install this package. Then with dummy data, and show a list of 10 user with column ID, name, email, age, status. Then also add basic sorting when I click the column headers. Use CSS and please add comment on the code to make me understand the code. Just does it. I'm gonna copy that, then paste it. Then hopefully the AI will generate the React component, React application, and the current folders. As you can see, first the AI is checking the version of the node. Then yes, it basically generate the React application using fit on the current folder. On the right side, basically you can see the to-do list. First is basically will generate the fit React project, then install the TanStack React tables and Talent CSS, then create the user table component with sorting, dummy data, and Talent styling. Wire up the app.tsx and verify the project build. Alright, this is done. So now we can just running the npm run dev to check that out the project on the local host. Then as you can see, this is the result. Really nice. I love the table. We have the like a shadow going on here. Then if I click the ID, for example, as you can see, it's sorted by ID. If I click the name, it's sorted by name. If I click the email, sort by email, then etc. Everything works like I expected. So now let's take a look the code a little bit. Here on the main, as you can see, it's basically just render the app. On the app, it's basically just render the user table. So user table should be on the component. Let's take a look on the component here. As you can see, this is the dummy data. We have 10 objects in here. Then also we have the columns. So this basically define the column with header, label, and access source. So this is the header. So of course, if you want to change the label of the header here, you can just remove or change this header value here. Then also we have cell. Cell is basically if you want to add component or element, right? Cell is rendering to show batch for the status. As you can see, the way we get the value is using info.get value. So this basically will show like active or inactive. If active, the isActive variable is true, and if true, the green color will render. If the isActive is false, the red color will render. Then also the important part again is this table variables here, right? Data set equals to table data, the column table column, then the state should be set equals to sorting. The sorting is the state in here. Then etc. So I think you don't have to know everything because now AI era, you don't have to know everything, but at least you understand how to change the label and etc. Right? How to add column. So now let's say I want to add like a global search on the top in here. So this is my prompt, add global search input box above the table. When I type something, it should filter all column, and at the same time, please add comments on the top of the code to make me understand the code. So I'm gonna copy that, then paste it to here, hit enter. Let's take a look what happened in here. The AI first is import the get filtered row model function, come from the TanStack, then create a new state called global filter. Then as you can see in here, also adding new state called global filter, set equals to global filter come from the state. then also adding this on global filter change. So this basically will running every time we change the input in here. So let's take a look at the result. Here we go. As you can see, we have the input. Really nice. For example, I'm going to search like a grace. As you can see, it just works every time I typing. So next, for example, we want to add like a pagination. Add pagination to the table, show 5 row per page, add previews and next button, then show page 1 of X text, add a page size selector with option 5, 10, 20. Please add comment. So I'm going to copy that, then paste it. Let's take a look what happened. First, the AI is import the get pagination row model come from the TanStack. Then it also create a new state called pagination. Page index is 0, page size is 5. Then also here, as you can see, it's adding a new state. All right, on the state object, we have pagination set equals to pagination come from the state. Just does it. Then adding this on pagination change set equals to set pagination come from the state. Then also create the pagination control. Let's take a look at the result. Let me go back here. Then as you can see, we have this pagination. And I hope this is working. Like if I change that to 10, as you can see, 10 data is show. Then if I click like next, as you can see, previews next, it also works. Next, I'm going to add new filters again. So this basically will filter the column. So let me go back here. Then I'm going to paste the prompt. Add a small filter input under each column header. When I type in, it filter only that columns. It should work together with the global search. Then that's it. So I'm going to copy that and let's go back here, then paste it to my open code. Let's take a look what happened in here. First, the AI is import type called column filter state come from the TanStack. Then also create new state called column filters and then set column filters. And then put that state into the column filters on the state object. Then also put that set column filters on the on column filter change. That's it. And also here it basically create the TR, right? This column label with sort on click. It basically create all the UI. So let's take a look the result on the browser. As you can see, look really nice. Let me try to filter by name, B for example. All the name that have B should be rendered. Then also the email, as you can see, also works. Then also let's try to do it on the age here, like 20. It's not works. If I do 2, as you can see, not working. 35 still render here. Yeah, I think it's not working for the age. Then status is not working as well, as you can see. So there's another bug, so I can fix that right now. This is my prompt fix result for input column ID. If I type 2, it show 2, 3, 4 until 9, until 10. It's not work and status also not work. So let's try to hit enter. Let's see what happened here. So inside a column array, it's adding the filter fn. The value is include string. So treat number IDs as a string. So string 2 doesn't become a range filter. And then also add the include string as well on the age. Then also on the status, it put the equal string. The ID and the age, change the type to text. Let me go back here, and as you can see now, this is text. Let me try to put like, for example, 4, and this is works. Nice, great job. And this also works, right? I'm gonna go to the age. Let's try to put 2. It works. All that have 2 is render. 28. It also works. Great. For the status, active, all actives render, inactive, all inactive render. So the next feature is I want to add row selection. So let's go back in here, and then this is my prompt. Add a checkbox as the first column. Add a checkbox in the header to select all of rows. Show the text at the top that say X row selected. Please add comments on the code. Just does it. I'm gonna copy that, paste here, then I'm gonna hit enter. Alright, so let's see what happened. The AI first import the get selected row model function from the TanStack. Then as you can see here, it's also adding the column helper basically. Then etc. Right? It's more complex right now. So let's just take a look here on the result. As you can see, we have these checkbox. So if I click that, as you can see, 10 rows selected. Pretty nice. If I click this one row selected, 2 row, 3, 4, and then 5. The next step is I want to add column visibility toggles. So this is the prompt: add a columns button above the table. When click it, show a drop down with a checkbox for each column. Let me hide or show column by checking or unchecking. That's it. So I'm gonna copy paste that and hit enter. So let's take a look what happened in here. I'm gonna scroll down, and as you can see, basically the AI create two state, I believe. Yep. First is create the column visibility. This is basically state for handle what column should be show. Then also we have columns open. This state should be handle the drop down open or close, basically. Really nice. And also we have these click outside. Basically when I click outside the drop down, it also close the drop down, right? Pretty nice. Let me see here. It's also adding the column visibility on the state. Then yeah, put the state value on the function here. Pretty nice. Then this is basically the column visibility button with drop down. Let me just take a look at the result. Here we go. As you can see, we have the column drop down here. If I click, we have the value. For example, I'm gonna uncheck the name. As you can see, the name column should be gone. If I uncheck age column should be gone. Yep, it works. Really nice. So the next step is I want to replace the dummy data with the real data from the API. So this is my prompt. Replace the dummy user data with real data from the JSON placeholder. Show the loading spinner while fetching. Show an error message if the fetch fail. Keep all existing features working. Right, that's all my prompt. Let me try to copy it and paste that here. Hit enter. First, as you can see, it remove all the dummy data. Then as you can see here, it's create the helper to generate the random age between 20 and 16. So I believe this happened because the API doesn't have the age value and doesn't have the status value. So it basically just create a random value with that. Then also here, as you can see, it's create a new state called data loading and then error. Then as you can see, this is the fetch happening. Basically, it fetched to the URL. Great. Let me try to see here if I refresh that. And as you can see, the data is new. This is come from the API basically. And all the features, it just works, right? The email sorting, the age sorting, filter by 20, for example, it works. The status, it also works. Everything just works. So now my last prompt is basically I want to improve the UI. This is my prompt. Improve the table design using Tailwind and alternating row color and add hover highlight on each row. Make the header sticky when scrolling. Make it look clean and professional. That's it. So I'm gonna copy it, paste, hit enter here. First, as you can see, it just removed the input. I'm not sure why the input is removed, but I believe because it's basically put the input inside this div, right? As you can see here, we have that input. Then also, there's a lot of things that happen here. So let's just try to see the final result. As you can see, basically it's create like a two column on the top. We have the search on the left, then the column drop down here on the right side. Super clean, I love that. Then also everything here just works, right? As you can see, if I hover on the row, it also show the different color. I love it. Then as you can see, if I go to 10 user, if I scroll down, now as you can see the top in here, the header, it should be stick. That's what I want as well. Let me try to filter by status active. It also works. Let me see, it works, right? Everything just works. As you can see, if I give the AI better prompt, the result is also pretty nice, right? The result is better, looking good, everything. The UI functionality just works. Don't ask to the AI like create me great, better, create me amazing table. It's not gonna be works, but you have to specific what feature you want. The result it should be better, right? Just like this.